Hello. Yeah. It's poppin'. Okay.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Pop In Episodes from Poppin' Politico. It is your girl Zaylee. I am the founder of Poppin' Politico, and today we are going to be talking about Black representation and what that means for not only the Black community, but what that means for the world, what that means for politics, and just other areas of life, like what does that mean for generations to come and economy and society. So we're going to dig into that today because we are observing Black History Month. Happy Black History Month to everyone out there. As you can see, I have on my Rooting for Everybody Black sweatshirt. This is from the Carter brand. We support Black business around here, around these parts as well. So just getting started and just talking about Black History Month and Black representation. That's important. Like, just purchasing from Black businesses alone is is deeply rooted in representation, right? So supporting one another. So what is Black representation? So just being visible. So the visibility of Black people in media, in politics, in society in general is very important in classrooms, hospitals, everywhere, basically, is significant to the withedness a discipline has. So when I say withedness, that is a term in education where like teachers have just like this amazing ability to observe their classrooms, right? So they're able to observe, one student over here who's, not as high of a reader as another student who is probably on a college reading level, right? So that's withedness, being able to cater to a variety of people. And so in the world, in society, Black people, we don't really necessarily get that withed attention in media and all these other things. In the past 5 years, that's really changed, but now it is something that we are really pushing for and just really seeing a lot more of, and I'm really proud of that. So definitely in politics, with our first Black Vice President, Kamala Harris, she is the first woman as well, so that's another form of representation. So the intersectionality of being Black and being a woman is very real, especially in politics. There's a lot of controversy over her replacement, which ended up being a man in Senate. So there are no longer any Black women in the Senate. So that is a problem. So we moved from having a singular Black woman in the Senate to having a Black vice president, but now where's the representation in the Senate that we need? So that's just one of the things that we have to think about when we think about politics, and what representation looks like on that level, because it's not just about visual representation, but it's also about the representation that you're getting, because that person is literally a representative for you. So what political initiatives would Black women be more inclined to impart upon or seek out or work towards compared to white men or Black men, even, or men of color or women of color? So we have to really think about representation and the perspectives that we have, because everything is intersectional. And that was just one of the points I wanted to make about Black representation. And then also it creates agency. So agency is when you have the ability to vouch for yourself and you have evidence, and it's just proof basically that this thing exists, right? So a really important aspect of Black representation is the agency that comes from Black representation, right? So for example, my mother has grown up in the same neighborhood that we currently live in. So we have been there since the 60s. My family has been, I was born in the 90s, but my family has been there since the 60s. And so somebody bought the house behind us, and my mom was very close to our neighbors that were behind us. And so she went to go tour the house after they had flipped the house. And so when she went to take the tour, she was telling the person who bought the house all this cool stuff about the house and how the house used to look and where all the doors used to be, and how the kitchen was set up and all this really cool stuff, because she basically was over there all the time because she was very close with her neighbors. But I say that to say that Black people, Black community, we are the house. And my mom is the representation. And so, and the buyer of the house, the seller of the house, they're the rest of the world. So my mom was able to impart knowledge upon the rest of the world, the seller, the buyer, seller, whatever, about the Black community, because she spoke up about it. And if she had not been there, then they wouldn't have known that history. They wouldn't have known all of those things about the house, because they don't have experience with the house. They didn't grow up in the house. They didn't visit the house. They never knew the house. They didn't spend time with the house. And so, really being a representative for the Black community is so important, because we get to talk about the intricacies of what it means to be Black and how things can affect Black people, especially in different disciplines such as medicine, education, housing, politics, economics. All that stuff is impacted by Black representation, and how much agency and how much voice we have, and how much we are affected by the systems that are a part of those disciplines. So yeah, I am so glad that y'all could listen to me talk on for a minute about Black representation. I truly appreciate it. But I will catch y'all next week with another episode for Poppin' Politico. We will stop being slack, I promise. And don't forget to click the subscribe button below. It should be down there. And yeah, follow us on Instagram at Poppin' Politico. See y'all next week.